everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Big Show, powered by Law Dog Sports. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you as we do every Friday from 9 till about 10:30, streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter X at Law Dog Sports, joined by my partner and longtime friend, Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways, and also today, Jeremy, a special guest joining us as we welcome the one and only Ryan Hyatt of TheRaiderland.com, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland.com. Big R Dub, how you doing, bud?
It's a beautiful day here in West Texas. I want to apologize, though. I don't normally go live during this time, and the sun angle may hit our studio window at a very awkward angle as we go through this. So be prepared.
As long as it doesn't blind you. I'm
positively glowing.
I'm not worried about Joe Ely in the background. If he catches a little sunlight, that's fine. We are sponsored by CCW Safe Legal Self-Defense Coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. Use the link in the scroll and also in the description that is our link, and we are strong supporters of CCW Safe for self-defense support, deep expertise, personal care. Trust the team at CCW Safe. And if you are a open carry, concealed carry, Second Amendment supporter, they are the ones that you need to check out. All right, so Ryan Hyatt joins us as he always has for low now 4 to 5 years at least, I think, back in our old KSCY days, and AM 1230, and gives us all of the Texas Tech perspective. And being that OU and OSU are on byes this week, and plus it is just a humongous game in Lubbock this week, Ryan is here to help us preview that. And like I said, be sure and check out his website, TheRaiderland.com. He also does a nightly stream, 6:30 every evening, like clockwork, even from ski resorts, I believe, in New Mexico. Ryan Hyatt is bringing you Red Raider content. Buddy, if we had that kind of dedication, we might be able to live your lifestyle.
Yeah, but I'm the only guy who goes to a ski town like Red River, New Mexico, where there's no snow. So
I was going to say, where are the crutches? I don't see them in the background.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying. That's why I go when there's no snow. No, be able to get back home.
Well, and you did a great job on those broadcasts as well, and looked like it was a pretty cool place you were at. But it is humongous tomorrow in Lubbock, and the BYU Cougars, Kalani Sitake, rolling into town with an undefeated team. And you guys, I tell you, Texas Tech on this very program last week, and also to one of your he's not your associate, but we frequent him on social media as well, Flatland Sports. I thought last week was a total trap game for the Red Raiders, and they went up to Manhattan and handled the business.
That was the game where this team was going to show that the program's a little bit different, that they've elevated the mindset. A lot of people think the Bermuda Triangle's in the Atlantic Ocean. No, it's in Manhattan, Kansas, if you're Texas Tech. You had not won there since some guy named Michael Crabtree. Whatever happened to him, they need to do a feature on that. Did he do anything good? But that was the last time you won there. Now, Texas Tech was the better team on paper. Tech's been the better team against Kansas State many times over the last 15 years and didn't beat them.
Yeah,
and for them to get that win, they wore them out. They outlasted them. They got beat by Avery Johnson on one play, and I got to give credit, by the way, to Matt Wells. I hate doing that, but offensive coordinator schemed up really nice when he broke it outside of some containment. But other than that, this defense in particular proved that they're different, and they proved that all year long with the way they've handled running quarterbacks, which is what makes this matchup interesting. They throttled Dampier out at Utah. Now, I don't know. Maybe he had a ruptured spleen and the coaching staff didn't put it on the injury report. We don't know.
Yeah.
But they've handled running quarterbacks this year better than any Texas Tech defense I can remember, going back to Gabe Rivera in 1981.
Whoa. Wow. Yeah, and Avery Johnson is one of those guys that, he's got a family that is very passionate. But that is,
Liquored up brawlers would be the other term.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And Jeremy and I have lived the days where you go to Manhattan, and there was one time where we had, I think, negative rushing yards, but still got out of there with a win. But going back to the Bill Snyder days, but Chris Kleiman, I just thought they were kind of turning a corner a bit with that program after a big win against Kansas. And then, 43-20 in Manhattan. I mean, you put the beat down on the Wildcats. Other than just I don't know how we gauge the performance of Sparky and Tempe, but that's probably keeping Texas Tech out of the top 5 in the recent poll.
Yeah, and what happened out there in Tempe? You get Baron Morton hurt, so you had to put in your backup Will Hammond, who's quality, but all of a sudden the game plan changed. And offensively, they never established the running game. And this team right now is really good when you establish Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams, and you allow the quarterbacks to take some pops downfield with play action. It brings a safety down, which opens some things up across the middle for Baron Morton. That didn't happen that day. And basically what you saw that day as well, with a furious rally, Texas Tech's defense was on the field for nearly 38 minutes. Now, it wasn't 114 degrees, but that's still 38 minutes of college football. When Arizona State and Sam Leavitt, the only game he was healthy for apparently over the last month and a half. Thank you, Arizona State.
Yeah.
The Texas Tech defense was gassed. They just didn't have enough left in the tank to stop a really good passing quarterback. And I would say that it's the passing quarterback that I think gives me more concern than the dual threat running quarterbacks right now for the Tech defense. And I think Leavitt showed that. So we'll see what Bear Buckmeyer, I thought he was maybe the son of Jim Brockmeyer, the great Kansas City Royals announcer, but apparently not. It's a different person. But yeah, everything about this matchup is kind of strength on strength. That's how it should be, and that's what I'm looking forward to tomorrow about this time.
Well, it's a huge event. College game day rolls into Lubbock. I saw the pictures of the trailer. I saw some postings of people, complaining about 85 degrees in November. Yeah, I complain about that too, but I live around this area, so I can. But no, it's just massive. And you've talked all week, and I haven't caught all of your content, but is this the largest game in the last 50 years for Texas Tech football?
I submit that it is. It's the most important game, and here's why. The evolution of college football now, obviously we know all about NIL, transfer portal, the expanded playoff, all the things that are in front of you with this game. If we look at some of the bigger games Texas Tech has played in the last 50 years, I'll go back to the mid-'70s. In 1976, Tech was ranked number 5 in the country. They'd beaten Texas and Lubbock in October. They had a date with an undefeated Houston team that I think was ranked 7th or 8th in Lubbock. And Texas Tech loses that game on an interception in the end zone late. Had Tech won that game, though, they probably remain number 5 in the country and don't move up. Nobody else is losing. They would have gone to the Cotton Bowl, no playoff, no BCS, and it would have been Tech versus Maryland for Tech to finish 5th in the country. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't have been great, but that's kind of the way it would have played out back then. 2008, everybody talks about the Texas game, and it was a great game. It was kind of great because you won it, but that's beside the point. It sets up that date in Norman 2 weeks later, and it's easy for Tech fans to forget not the absolute beatdown, but the fact that you went in as a 14.5-point underdog. Nobody expected you to win that game. I know crazy things had happened, but Tech wasn't going to beat OU that year.
Yeah.
They weren't going to get it done. So even by winning that, you were still trajecting, again, not going to be able to make the Big 12 title game. You limp into the Cotton Bowl, you get beat. That's why I say with what's in front of you, if Texas Tech can win this, 2 winnable games, UCF and West Virginia, you make the Big 12 title game, you're in the playoff. And personally, I think any of the top 10 teams right now in the rankings could win this year's college football playoff. Nobody's that good. Everybody's got some sort of flaw.
The only caveat I would say to that is I've yet to see anything from Ohio State that makes me think that they wouldn't just turn it on late. But yeah, you're exact. I agree with you. I just have a something on the back of my shoulder saying Ohio State. Talking about that 08 season, the greatest thing taken away from that, besides the Crabtree catch, was the epic, and repetitive pronunciation of 45-35 neutral field. But no, it just does seem to match up to be a huge, and I think so many times, and I was one of these people, BYU gets discounted. Jeremy, we've talked about back in the days when you faced BYU in a bowl. Just plan on a loss back in the old bowl days. They're just geared differently, and that would be my only fear as a Tech fan.
This BYU team seems different. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They block well. They tackle well. The Brockmeyer kid, I mean, he's a freshman. Going into Lubbock, that's got to be a tough spot for him. But Ryan, how healthy is Baron Morton?
Great question. I don't even know how did they put percentage on people. I feel like I'm about 89% today myself. He's healthy enough to do what they need him to do, which is throw the football. He's got to be protected. The lower leg injury, like an NHL hockey report, it mimics a high ankle sprain. So if he gets rolled up on, that's not going to be good. I don't think they're going to ask him to run very much RPO, zone read, or anything else. With your backup quarterback out for the year with a torn ACL on a non-contact injury against Oklahoma State, you're just not going to put Morton in that position, which I love. I hate to see him run, not because he can't. I just hate to see quarterbacks run who are really good passers when you're paying guys good money to be, get this, they actually call the position running back. Give them the ball. So I think he's more than healthy enough. The arm is great. The shoulder, everything else, it's the wheels.
Yep. We talked about this last week. It seems like since Patrick Mahomes was taking snaps down in Lubbock, that position has been snake bit.
Yeah,
with guys, except for Jet Duffy.
Yeah.
I knew he would, Ryan.
That's twice in the last 2 weeks I've heard his name mentioned in media. And I would have lost that on the bingo card.
Well, thanks for considering us media.
I'm dodging the that's really kind of cool right there. How about that? I look like I'm in Braveheart.
You look like a Flash Gordon villain or something.
It's like awesome. What Power Rangers? What's the guy? The floating head.
So Nick Shimonek, the year after Mahomes in 2017, is the last Tech quarterback to start, or I guess play in and start every game. That's how it's been. Now that's not great, but you look around college football now and look how many quarterbacks get injured because we're exposing them to RPOs and zone reads and everything else. And and even the guys that don't do a whole lot of that. Look at Sam Levitt's out for the year. Oklahoma State playing a wide receiver at quarterback. Yeah, I know there are mitigating circumstances there at OSU, but Tech fans kind of think it's just them. It's really a college football thing now. You better have two good quarterbacks because there's a great chance your guy's going to go down at some point for a little while in the season.
So what's that contingency if Morton goes down again?
Guy Griffiths. Guy Griffiths played in the 1960s for Tech. Mitch Griffiths was your third string quarterback. They picked him up off the street, but he's not an ordinary cat. He started at Wake Forest a few years ago.
Okay.
He was one of those guys that had an extra year of eligibility, but he kind of thought his career was done. He was pouring concrete last year, and he decided, I kind of might want to do this, and he kind of put feelers out on social media. Mac Leftwich, the Tech current offensive coordinator, had recruited him at a previous stop, and he just reached out to him through a direct message, said, hey, would you want to come down here to Lubbock? We need an experienced third-string guy that can really help us out. Well, he's the guy, and he came in against Oklahoma State. He slings it around pretty good, more mobile than I thought. He got a lot of playing time in the preseason, in the non-conference when Tech was blowing people out. So would it be ideal? No. But is it a guy with tremendous experience who started at a P4 level? Yeah. That's pretty rare for a third-string guy.
You got enough dudes around him. I mean, as long as he's just capable. That defense is really good.
That's what I was going to say. With you guys' as quarterback injuries and turbulence, man, I'm so sorry to hit you up at 9 a.m. Look at this, Jeremy. 282 yards passing, that's 15th in the country. 197 rushing, that's 24th. 492 yards per game, that's 5th. Points per game, 43.6, that's 3rd. You don't just, Baron Morton's great. The Hammond kid was great. You don't just get that by just one quarterback. You've got a cast.
Yeah, they've got some pretty talented receivers. You got Terrence Carter Jr. out there, kind of a flex in, tight end. Virgil out there on the edge, and then Coy Aiken, who's been around for a million years, is kind of your do-everything slot guy. He's been returning punts after some injuries for some special team guys. And it's a receiver core that doesn't necessarily stretch the field deep with their speed. But, man, they catch the ball really nicely, and that's kind of important.
That has been
super important.
I mean,
this team just doesn't drop a lot of passes. John Carlos Miller and Caleb Douglas are going to be two names you probably hear as well tomorrow. And Caleb Douglas has emerged as a go-to guy the last couple of weeks. And I don't know if that's by defensive scheme on what they're doing to other receivers or if just him and Morton are really clicking or whatever. But there's enough guys out there that can make a quarterback feel comfortable. And this offensive line is better than it's been. It's not great. We're saying at times marginal, but that's a huge improvement over the sieve offensive linemen that have been around Tech for the last 10 years or so.
We're visiting with Ryan Hyatt from theraiderland.com. You can catch him weeknights at 6:30 on all of his platforms at Ryan Hyatt Media. And Ryan, just, post game for this one, if Tech comes out, you mentioned the remaining games, UCF and West Virginia. You don't have to go to Morgantown, do you?
No, you do, and that's the last game of the year. They're on the 29th of November. Heaven knows what the weather could look like. That, to me, is the wild card in all of this. You hope that they're checked out, wanting to go, on break and get done. But, man, weather up there could be a huge equalizer in that game.
Well, and Rich Rod has somehow got that team back up. I had, we'll see how they do against Colorado tomorrow, but who was it? They beat Houston last week, and I did not see that coming.
I kind of worried about Houston last week. We talk about trap games, and you've gone out late game that Saturday night at Arizona State, big emotional win, kind of knocked them back down the standings. And, they were a little beat up too, but I didn't expect that the way it played. I didn't expect that the way it played out with just West Virginia just really dominated that from the get-go. And we hadn't seen that out of them against a quality team this year. So Tech fans are hoping that was their moment in the sun. They got it out of their system.
Ryan, Texas Tech fans, there's been so much topsy-turvy stuff this season, and the ban on tortillas. I believe they'll repossess your home if you're caught inside a tortilla. But Texas Tech fans, how are they riding this new wave of relevance and importance, and then also, thinking about what may still be to come as recruiting goes on and things like this? What's the feel in Lubbock? I spent 2 weeks there back in 2001. That would have been right on the heels. That would have been right on the heels of Mike Leach's first season.
Right.
Bobby Knight was there. It seemed like it was summertime, so everybody was gone. But it seemed like there was a little bit of electricity going on around there. I can only imagine what has happened in the last 24 years.
Yeah, and if you're basically under 35, you've never been around a Texas Tech football program that has had this kind of success, where they've been in a position where it's legitimate to talk the way we're talking today. Now, basketball is elevated. Baseball's been in the World Series 4 times over the last decade or so. So you've had some success in other sports that kind of, gave you a taste of national relevancy, but nothing like football. And I think the biggest shift over the last year or two, certainly with the rise of NIL, and we all know about Cody Campbell and everything that goes on with that deal, that I think this generation of Tech fans are like, why not us? They aren't held hostage by the history, somebody my age or, that era. They're not held hostage by, well, Texas Tech can't compete because they don't have facilities. Well, they have facilities now. Well, who's going to come? Well, look who comes to Lubbock. Well, you're not going to, get any national. Well, you get national attention. So this is breaking a little bit of what I call the mind virus for some older fans, not so much the younger fans, but older fans having to accept the fact that you wake up today and you're an 11-point favorite over the number 7 team in the country. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. And, you didn't mention softball, so that makes you a misogynist. So
I'd like to apologize to Nigel Kennedy, the entire softball team.
Well, and you mentioned basketball, and I look up, and college basketball is already going, and Texas Tech is ranked 10th, and they've got a home game against Sam Houston State tonight. Yeah, I mean, you talk about just a revamping of an athletic program. And so I know Cody Campbell is kind of the tip of the spear on that, but as far as administrative wise, you have to look at it and say, ever since the Kingsbury, firing.
Yeah.
It wandered in Neverland a little bit, but really got back on track and figured out what Texas Tech sports is supposed to be.
Yeah, and Kingsbury, the hiring of Kingsbury was to try to mend some old wounds from the Mike Leach era, and that's really what it was. And Tuberville's exit was ugly, and it was a fan base that needed some healing. Nobody in the world would have hired Kingsbury at the time as their head coach, but Texas Tech did. They could. It just didn't work out. And we're learning that Kingsbury may not be a head coach, that he's a great coordinator, and that's okay. The Matt Wells hire after Kingsbury left looked like an ascending coach, said all the right things. I liked the hire. I talked to a lot of people, and they said, hey, this is a guy who can win in Lubbock. He will get it. He's won up there in Logan. In Utah, he'll understand. Never connected. And I don't want to blame COVID. It's too easy to say that, oh, it was just a weird time. No, he never connected with the fan base.
Yeah.
So when it was, time a couple of years ago to hire Joey McGuire, you had Jeff Traylor down there at UTSA. You had, a couple of different people in the mix. But it has become quite obvious that Joey McGuire is a perfect coach for Lubbock, Texas. Now, I'm not saying he can't coach anywhere else. He'd probably win anywhere. But, man, he fits out here. He is a younger version of Spike Dykes.
Yeah.
With a lot of that high school, not rah-rah, garbage stuff, but just that aspect of coming up through the ranks and getting Texas high school football, understanding West Texas, understanding this whole thing. Plus, he's a really good coach.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anyone connect like he has since Spike Dykes.
Well, and one other one, and I say that I don't say this in jest, but when they were looking post Matt Wells, and I know that there was no way it was going to happen, but I always thought take away all of the shakiness and all of the bad stuff during his tenure. I always thought Art Briles would have been kind of the caricature of what a Texas, not Austin coach would be. And I know that sounds terrible, but I mean, as far as on the field and building a program, if he did it the right way, that's what I used to take. But I was really astounded by the Joey McGuire hire because, like you said, had he been a coordinator when he?
Yeah, not at the college level. He'd been a positions coach.
Yeah. So, all right. So, listen, Ryan. Tomorrow, like I said, it's going to be a huge day. Jeremy did a rant a couple of weeks ago about the 11 o'clock kickoff, and he feels like OU is the OGs of the 11 o'clock big time kickoff. But now the crown ascends to the 8:06, and just give me your take. Who comes out of Jones with the win?
I tend to see this a little lower scoring, so I'll be completely wrong. I'll have my official prediction on my show tonight, but I think if Texas Tech scores 27 points, they'll win this game. And I think Texas Tech can score 27 points.
Yeah. And obviously we'll be you may not believe this, but us being an OU-centric program, we do pray for the health of Baron Morton and Texas Tech quarterbacks. We do send positive energy that way.
Yes.
We weren't real happy with the treatment of Maverick McGiver in Lubbock.
He's still playing.
He's at Western Kentucky, baby. But no, also, I think Jeremy looked at it. The Patrick Mahomes inspired galvanized uniforms. I'm always traditional, Ryan. Give me bread and butter for the big games. I don't. The only OU alternative uniform I've ever been for was what was it, Jeremy? Anthracite.
You don't like the Wilkinson era throwbacks?
Lumbermen suck. Whatever that is.
Oh, Rough Riders.
Rough Rider. Yeah. They did an anthracite, but I'm always a little tricky. I'd rather just be in our regular black or whatever for home games.
I'm like you. I really detest a lot of these alternate uniforms, and I'm not a fan of this one. It doesn't look like Texas Tech. I would like Tech to look like a traditional Texas Tech team on the biggest game they've played in 50 years, but I'll quibble not about it until they get the win. Well, that's not true. I'll quibble this much.
You could, just minor quibbling.
Yeah.
It's just the whole Iowa State-ness of it when they don't even really wear their school colors out there.
Yes.
It just bugs me.
Well, and that was one thing about BYU was, you're talking about two teams in BYU and Tech that go on the road last week and just beat up, teams that were predicted towards the top of the conference. But this year's Big 12 has really been topsy-turvy. And, having said that, if you like your coordinators, Ryan, you better have Cody Campbell lock them down for a while.
Man, Shillwood on defense, rising star. Mac Leftwich, same thing. And you mentioned it. I think that's going to be at the end of the season, no matter how it ends for Texas Tech. You're going to have to do a lot to keep those guys down on the farm here. And, I'm hoping that they're both just young enough that nobody says, let's give them a head coaching job right now.
Well,
maybe wait one more year.
You have so many openings now, Penn State, Florida, Auburn. Well, they're going to have to hire staffs, and you don't want to be that one that gets rated.
No.
And that's and that's the one thing where I think Texas Tech is still just this much behind some of the power programs is salary for the staff. And they've tried to address that.
Yeah.
They went out and got the dudes first to get coached, and I think you'll see some salaries go up in the offseason.
You have to in this day and time.
Yeah.
You're not going to keep a coordinator, but we will trade you Ben Arbuckle, Canadian Texas kid. He can come out there and learn football in Lubbock.
He can call RPOs up 9 at the opponent's 30 when all you have to do is run the football.
The whole Arbuckle Mateer thing this year is a show that y'all probably done numerous times that we would take another hour to delve through that, and I'll just leave it there.
All right, so we've got Dan Narva listening from Michigan. He's a big Sparty fan and rough going up there in East Lansing. Just final exit question, Ryan. On the general landscape, when you look at the split between the Big 12 and Texas and OU going to the SEC, it's hard for me to gauge it because OSU's been so dreadful throughout the new version of the Big 12. But what does it feel like with games against Arizona State and the different venues and things like that? What do you feel like this new Big 12 is all about? And then also what can they do? Can they get 2 teams in this playoff this year?
I think they can get 2 teams. I was concerned maybe a month ago on how that might break. I think right now you can get 2 teams in if it's just, if it's BYU, Tech in the mix and, throw in whoever else, maybe even Utah. Obviously, they're in the rankings. Back to the new Big 12. It's weird. There's a novelty aspect to it. And you wake up and, I'm looking at my big dry erase calendar over there on the wall. And these teams on their conference games, and it looks like a non-conference schedule. There's no rivalry. There's no feel. There's no antipathy between most of these schools when they play each other. So then it kind of brings it back to it's football. It's good football teams playing football.
Yeah.
And to me, that's almost an NFL-like aspect. That your rivalries in the NFL, minus a few, are really born of who's good in the given moment.
Yeah.
49ers, Cowboys back in the day. Vikings, whoever, that it was based on who's good. And I think that's the way the Big 12 is going to be.
Yeah.
When you've got good programs for 3 years, they're going to hate each other. Then you'll package it again.
Well, I will welcome the days when Texas Tech is a double-digit favorite to go to Ames, Iowa, or Lawrence, Kansas, and just can't find the way to get the win. We've lived that hell many years, Jeremy. So anyway, but no, we wish Texas Tech good luck. Tech is a subsidiary program that we support here on the program, stemming back to our days in Seymour, Texas, which Ryan always gives them the shout out on his program as being the slowest Dairy Queen in America. So
factual. There's a guy in line right now who ordered a Hunger Buster on Tuesday.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes is your guest picker tomorrow on Game Day.
Big time.
Mahomes will be in town, and I believe Andy Reid will be in town as well. His head coach, who was started his coaching career at BYU. So I think that Reid will be there as well. So a little bit going on.
Very cool.
Well, if I keep my Fubo free trial through tomorrow morning, I'll get to watch it. And Jeremy, I won't. I tell you, I would give YouTube TV the hook right now if it weren't for Multiview. Multiview is the only thing that I'm holding out hope for and not just switching services. But anyways, Ryan Hyatt from theraiderland.com. Check him out this evening at 6:30 on his social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, and he does a great job keeping up with all things Texas Tech Red Raiders, and we appreciate him. Ryan, you did your snowless ski trip. What else is on the agenda for you the rest of this year?
Hopefully a whole lot of football and some basketball, and we'll just try to survive the holidays. And I promise tonight, if you tune in, we'll be glare free.
You'll be glare free, man. East facing houses, man. I'm telling you, I love it. All right, Ryan Hyatt, thank you so much for joining us today, brother. And we will look forward to your content and keep an eye on you as well.
You got it. Hope we get a chance to visit again soon.
We definitely will anytime you're available. Thank you, Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. Check them out. And he does a great job there for the Red Raider coverage. And Jeremy, OSU on a bye this week. So it was great to have Ryan check in with us. And I'll tell you, looking at the slate, I like a lot of the matchups tonight, even Houston and Central Florida at Orlando. We mentioned that Houston dropped that one last week against West Virginia. Yep. But another one tonight is USC and Northwestern, and I didn't want to throw it out to Ryan, and if he keeps viewing, he may see it. But I overheard some scuttlebutt that, they're debating on whether or not Lincoln Riley sticks around or if maybe he jumps for another job.
You heard it here first, huh? A couple weeks ago.
That's right, you did.
Josh Pate was talking about it earlier this week.
You're way ahead of that guy.
Yeah, there's so many openings. He's still a guy that's going to get attention. There's speculation Baylor comes open.
Yeah, Luke Fickell is secured at Wisconsin for one more year. They don't want to get into the coach hunt with so many other
time, dude.
It is an awful time, and you look at OSU firing Gundy. What was he? He was second. I think Deshaun Foster was before him.
They were right around the same time, maybe a week apart.
Yeah. So you look at OSU, and I mean, here's the thing. There's a lot of talk about the Morris kid at North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He would probably bring his quarterback and running back with him. Caleb Hawkins from North Rock Creek, Shawnee, Oklahoma, has been featured on College Football Final. Got a helmet sticker last weekend, I think. But they've got a lot rolling in North Texas, and that's just going to be which program poaches their coach and their players.
Yeah, see, I thought I saw yesterday that Arkansas hired Ryan Silverfield from
that was a spoof thing. I thought so too, and then I looked at the page. It's like Pete Nokos.
Yeah.
and hey, I got duped by a fake deal yesterday. Yeah, and I tagged Corey Hogan, and he found it quickly. But Billy Gillespie is not getting not going to the Guangzhou Dragons or whatever in China. Twitter's always been one that kind of
You okay?
Guangzhou?
Do I need to send you a link to get your credit card number to your social security number?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, I just shared it because I thought,
Was it on Facebook?
No, it was Twitter, and that's what I was about to say before you interrupted me.
I was just hoping you're not going total Gomer on me.
No. I'm still wary and savvy to the scams. Dan Narva checking in. Got to have the money in the program to do buyouts, not to mention the obsessive impatience to give underperforming coaches the boot. That's why you'll be stuck with the coach there in East Lansing for another couple of seasons.
It's just, man, there's so many good openings right now. You're going to be stuck with leftovers.
Yeah.
If you got a guy you can live with, you might as well stick with him. Just see what happens.
Well, and North Texas is an interesting deal. UTSA is an interesting deal. Jeff Traylor, if I was his agent or if I was somebody close to him, I would suggest to him staying. You're not going to get the job you want to get with.
You're going to end up at Oklahoma State, and that might be a little bit of a mess up there.
Has kind of fallen since a couple of seasons ago.
What about G.J. Kinney? I mean, he's still out there.
Yeah,
Texas, still being mentioned.
I mean, you're talking about programs who've shown little glimpses, little flashes of top performance, and then kind of fallen. I mean, Seth Luttrell is the template
The poster child.
The poster child of, winning at the group of 5 level, whatever they are now.
I've heard Bob Stoops' name mentioned.
Oh, yeah,
For
names get thrown out.
Florida.
Oh, at Florida?
Well, I mean, that would make sense, but
Carol probably liked it down there. She probably sold a lot of Mary Kay.
she probably did. They
You
still got a house down there.
That's where they built that fortune. He's got a house in every city. 54 people at their Christmas or whatever. No, their summer vacation home. But anyways, so I just look at it and think, OSU, what are they gonna end up with? I mean, and this is the thing about Venables too. Don't go. I mean, I was screaming, give him the hook. I would replace every coordinator for the next 2 years before I would get rid of a head coach until this kind of cycle thing ends out.
Yes, definitely. Put guys around him that know what they're doing and just pray to God it works out because, man, those buyouts. And that's something that's going to have to change in college football. You're going to really need to go incentive laden, and you can't have a $77 million buyout, Jimbo. I'm sorry.
Oh, and then Brian Kelly, and the same guy is responsible for both of those.
Yeah.
So,
and now he has been replaced.
Yeah, and rightfully so. But I'll say this, looking at these buyouts, and looking at up and coming coaches, one coach that I would keep an eye out, and I hate to say this because it does affect me pretty much directly, is Andrew Rice at Southwestern Oklahoma State University.
Okay.
This guy's coming. He's young, and how many times have we said this is a young man's game? He's young. He's come in. He's turned the program around from a winless season to now they've won as many games as they've won in any season over the past, I think, 5 to 6 years. He's an up and comer, and D2 coaches, as much as we see D2 talent kind of showcasing it at the highest level, I think they're 5-4 this season, Jeremy. They're on a 3-game home win streak. Last year they won 3, I think, and then the year before that they won 0. Then let's see, I'm trying to think. Let's see, Rice is in his second year. Roselle McCoy didn't get any wins, but he was basically an interim. Josh Kirkland was there. He came from Eastern New Mexico or someplace, and then took an operational job at North Texas. He won 4. So those 3 seasons with wins, and the season before that they were winless. So it's just we'll kind of see how things go. But I mean, these young up and comers are really going to get a crack at jobs as things go along.
Yeah, I mean, usually guys like that will end up as a coordinator at a bigger school before they actually take that leap. But God, who knows anymore? I mean, if Traylor leaves or G.J. Kinney leaves, he could end up with one of those jobs.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, the group of 5, Power 5 jobs, you're probably going to have to be a head coach or coordinator at the FBS level. The North Texas job, Alex Golish, his background is not anything, he's got South Florida rolling.
Dabo was a special teams coordinator.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. And like we told Ryan Hyatt, if you got a good coordinator and you want to keep them, you better probably figure out a way to lock them down.
Definitely.
All right. So big game tomorrow for Texas Tech, and we'll kind of go over our picks and stuff as we go along as well. It's just so odd to have a bye week right now. It's just but I will say this for Oklahoma, and I didn't mean to sound so dire or so pissed off about the Ben Arbuckle comment, but like you mentioned and followed up, is they played a great game in Knoxville last Saturday night, but they did everything they could to damn near give it away.
I know. That's the thing. Arbuckle is a young coach, and my God, you would think it'd be common knowledge. Hey, we just need to take the air out of the football. don't do anything that my young quarterback can screw up. Turn around and hand the ball off.
What young isn't Mateer 24?
He's 22.
Okay. Well,
But still, I mean,
college.
Anybody under 30s.
Yeah.
But
I get what you're saying, and I think you're totally right. And kudos. And here, explain me this, because we didn't do the college football recap show last Saturday. I had nothing left in me after. Man, that's what a day on the golf links does to me now, Jared. I come home and veg. But it might be the taxation of watching my game. But anyways, so they get the long run, which I think Tennessee was probably set to let them score.
Yes.
Was it Xavier Robinson that popped down at the
48-yard run? Yes.
Yeah, the goal line. Smart play.
Yeah, made him burn a timeout.
You burn a timeout, you take no time off, and you go score. What was the purpose? I mean, that you're talking about late game management that that could have backfired.
I mean, it's right before the 2-minute timeout. At that point, I think that was their last timeout. So they couldn't stop it again after 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The clock's going to stop anyways after, whatever.
Well,
you're not taking but maybe 5-10 seconds off. You're up by 3 points at that point.
I guess the big thing was get them to burn the timeout.
Yeah, because you couldn't bleed the clock dry. You just couldn't do it because there's that 2-minute timeout. They're going to get, you kick a field goal, you're only up 6. They can go win the game with a touchdown, which, okay. Yeah. So I didn't have a big problem with it. I wish they would let X score because he got him down there.
There you go. Yeah.
But, I didn't have a big problem with it when I sat back and looked at it, listened to Teddy and Gabe on their podcast, and they did burn that last time out. They got him to do that. You got some advantage out of it. Now, if this was 3 years ago, you're taking knees because there is no 2-minute timeout.
Sure. All right. Well, it was a great win, and it puts OU in a different position than what we maybe anticipated. Tough trip to Tuscaloosa next week. Then you've got 2 home games, Missouri and LSU, coming into Norman. I'll be interested to see what Texas A&M is able to do in Columbia tomorrow.
That is going to be a good game. We're going to see what Texas Tech is made of. I think this is probably their –
mean A&M?
Yeah, Texas A&M. Sorry. Yes. We've been talking about Tech all morning. That's going to be a tough atmosphere for him to go in there. Eli, Fat Andy Bernard, is that team totally bought in? Has he addressed the rumors that he could be on the move? Has Elko addressed the rumors that he may be on the move? He's a Northeast guy. Penn State come a calling.
Yeah.
Some of that,
we may be losing
good Yankee dollars. We could. Yeah. It's going to be massive movement, man.
I'm getting a notification we may be losing our Facebook stream. So if that's the case, I apologize. Not sure exactly why that would be happening, but if you do lose us on Facebook, please check us out on YouTube and Twitter X. And if you lost us on Facebook, you might not get that message. And you're extremely still today. Are you freezing up? Or are you just moving?
No, I was just reading something. I'm looking for the Facebook stream.
Yeah, you were talking about A&M. 6.5-point favorite are the Aggies. Everything on the line on this game. And Missouri, according to Drinkwitz, 22 would be about 12 spots too high for his liking, where he thinks his team should be. I don't know. I like Marcel Reed, and if he's able to extend plays and get first downs, it'll be a tough one. And 6.5, I can't remember which way I picked, and we'll go over those here in a little bit. But I just think I think A&M probably has the defense to go up there, especially Missouri. It was because Pribula's still out, right?
Yeah, he broke his leg. I think he's out for the season.
Ankle. So the backup for him, we'll see. But Columbia's a weird place in November.
It certainly is. Man, I I got no feel for the game,
Yeah.
really, because I've seen Texas A&M play. They're a good team, but yeah, Missouri just hangs around.
We've got some Aggie followers here and there, and particularly on Facebook, and I think I've offended them at times, but Aggie gonna Aggie if you're not careful. So
Normally in a road game, the higher ranked team going in as a single digit favorite, I tend to like the home team there.
mhm.
But
The college football playoff rankings came out earlier this week and really just kind of mimicked the AP to my liking.
how does Notre Dame continue to get the benefit of the doubt?
Um, if you're asking me facetiously, I'll just say just that gold dome on top
Is
of the
that
head.
Miami wouldn't really look that great right now?
It does not right now. Not after they go to SMU and choke.
I mean, I just it's just befuddles me.
Well, therein lies the thing. I'd like to speak to somebody who's clear on a lot of the different things with regards to rankings and committee selections. Should you just wait until the end of the season to gauge all wins? Because I don't care if Miami was number 2 when you beat them.
Yeah,
or lost to them.
exactly.
If they fall, if they tumble, that big deal.
If they lose out, do they continue to fall as well? Because that win they're hanging their hat on was obviously not a great win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
turn your halo light on there.
Yeah,
TikTok dances.
Trying to figure out this stupid Facebook stream thing. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, the one-word answer is Zuckerberg.
You have angered Zuckerberg, and now we've lost the stream.
The great Zuckerberg. Well, I just just on the outside, Jeremy, I just think to myself, and I said this with Ryan Hyatt, until Ohio State shows some weakness, I would favor them against the field.
I think so. This year they paid up for it.
Mm-hmm.
We got Oregon this weekend. They're playing Iowa. They're going. Are they going to Iowa City?
They're in Iowa City.
I kind of like Iowa right there.
That I think several people do, Jeremy, and that's one thing about the whole Oregon thing right now this season is I don't think people got a ton of faith in them.
No, not. I mean, dropping home games. Iowa's kind of a tough place to play.
Yeah,
they're going to be really good defensively.
Yeah,
they kind of figured out the whole offense thing.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't re-up the stream on Facebook. So my apologies to anybody who sees this and just don't understand technology all the time, Jeremy.
Your technology scares and confuses me.
I think that's 2 or 3 weeks in a row you've given me an unfrozen caveman lawyer reference or comparison. So I don't know how to take that. Let me let the folks on Facebook. Let's see, live stream went out. So looking at the rest, I mean, who cares about the first college football rankings in the first place? And I'm sorry, I think talking heads who, they basically do it for, I think they should just tell them, nah, we don't care. We're not going to talk about it.
I mean, it's fine just to get a gauge at this point in the season when the first polls should come out anyways. Because remember, Texas was preseason number 1 and then dropped out of the polls within 7 weeks. Penn State has fallen off a cliff. You've got a ranking finally after week 9 that, okay, that's probably a pretty good gauge of where these teams are and what they are. Because Alabama, they lost week 1 to Florida State. I don't see Florida State ranked in the CFB.
No.
But Alabama's number 4 because Alabama's really good. They just had an off night week 1. That happens.
Yeah. And I think there's a balance there, Jeremy, where you can have a team have an off night, but not scratch the regular season and say that
Right.
it doesn't matter. And I think they got it right last year. I mean,
Mhm.
because yes, Ohio State got massacred by Michigan, at home?
Mhm.
But, they went through a gauntlet to win a national title.
They did.
Because I'm sorry, I mean, that Tennessee team last year was pretty good.
Yeah, that Tennessee team was good last year.
You know.
Tennessee team's pretty good this year.
And then, they faced a probably the best Texas team we've seen since Vince Young.
Well, every team,
Or
every
Colt
Texas
McCoy.
team is just automatically the best. So,
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm talking logically.
yes.
I mean, that defense last year that Texas had was one of the tops.
No, they were really good. Yeah, and
And Ohio State handled them. And then
Quinn Ewers was just good enough to get them there.
Sure. I got to wonder if Quinn Ewers wouldn't have been better with some different play calls. I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum that coach gets tight in tight games.
Yeah, keep dinking and dunking it, Sark. It seems to be working with Arch.
Boy, no kidding. King of the checkdowns, and when you've got receivers that outclass every single defensive back they face, it'll work for you.
Totally a player-driven offense if you just let it be.
Sure, and shame on him for not doing that in some of the biggest games.
Arch probably would have got the Heisman this year.
Crown him.
Crown him.
Hey, you mentioned Gabe Eichert and Teddy Lehman. Did Teddy Lehman, has he addressed the scuffle with the rotund one?
No. And my week has been so hectic that I haven't even got to listen to it. Please brief me.
So I'm looking at Twitter and I see, I'm just going to take Facebook off of the stream for now. So I'm looking at Twitter and I see KREF puts up a post with a link, or somebody put up a KREF link.
Yeah, I saw
to
that
their podcast. So I listen, and Teddy goes off, and I guess the rotund one had been, because he gets all antsy when you mention him by name.
Mm-hmm.
So on this program, he's referred to as the rotund one. The rotund one had gotten apparently all over Parker Thune, and Teddy took exception to that. And I can go back all the way to the 90s, Jeremy, and remember when recruiting was just poo-pooed on that station, other than maybe Al Eschbach.
Mm-hmm.
But Al would mention recruits, would mention some recruiting. A lot of their other hosts, Steely was always pretty cool about it, but he didn't want to be locked into that, because recruiting. And I used to say this about James Hale. I don't want to hear, how the top 4-star out of Beggs, Oklahoma's dump came out today.
Well, that's a reason why one of those shows has been canceled about 400 times.
Yeah, exactly. But long story short, apparently Teddy took exception with Parker Thune, and then really went at the rotund one. Mentioned that, he says he doesn't want to talk recruiting, but then he tries to bag on people that do, or something like that. And then also it's the same 7 people calling in every day, and he does have a gypsy, but he's not a gypsy since he hadn't moved. But I remember one time, who was the morning guy? He did politics and then switched over to the sports animal.
Shannon. Mike Shannon.
Mark Shannon.
One
time, a guy, after he went to the sports animal, a guy called in and said, "I'm so glad you found a home, for all of your gypsy ass kissers." And that's what Oklahoma City call-in sports radio really is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this: Teddy went off and basically said he could be obsolete, would be replaced within a year. I think the rotund one fired back with the fact that he had signed a 3-year contract recently. It's a war that I mean, we don't live in an era now where you have to cover all your bases.
No, and I take exception to this, the fact that if you listen to the sports animal, you're listening for personalities.
You're listening for confrontation.
And yes, and shock jock mentality.
Exactly.
Who the hell listens to Al Eschbach anymore? Anyways, I
Who
digress.
can?
Right. If you listen to the other station, the Ref, you are listening to that because you want to know what's going on with the football program. I mean, they've kind of got it going on with Darinoka in the morning,
Yeah.
who's, fantastic. That show was,
And nationally renowned.
yes. And then you back that up with Mike Steely. For guys our age, he's,
Mm-hmm.
he is our prophet. We love Mike Steely.
Oh yeah, he's the reason. I mean, he's as much the reason why we tried doing what we do as anyone.
Yes. But then you have guys that are locked into that recruiting world and, are quote unquote insiders that, yeah, you listen to them because you want to know. You want to know what's coming down the pike. If you're locked into the OU football program or you're a huge OU fan, that's a valuable resource.
And honestly, I'll say this, and we moved to Norman in 2019. And I remember getting a little frustrated that I couldn't listen to the ref on a radio in my studio.
Mm-hmm.
It struggles as an AM signal, an AM radio.
If there's any large barriers around you, it's
all about power. And if you're not cranking out 50,000 watts, then you're not going to get very far. But I'll say this, with the proliferation of the podcast era, they seem to have found their niche.
Mm-hmm.
And also apps.
Yes.
Listening on apps. Now, I've taken exception with KREF in the past because they do have some personalities that don't remember sports radio.
No.
They weren't old enough to know what sports radio really was about. And I've heard some of them mention, because like they have an affiliate in Tulsa. We are an affiliate in Weatherford, Clinton and Weatherford. 97.3, the Score carries Steely and the Rush. And I think Dari in the mornings.
Yeah.
Up until 8, and then it's the Dan Patrick show. So 8 to 11 is Patrick. Anyway, long story short, I was listening one day, and I can't remember if it was Parker Thune and one of the other guys, maybe Travis Davidson, throws out that they mentioned the affiliate in Tulsa, and then they say, even when I'm in Tulsa, I just listen on the app. Well, dude,
that's why we lost the FM signal.
Yeah,
because so many people listen on the app.
Exactly.
The FM signal was great.
Yeah,
it was. I listen on the AM signal in the truck, and there's just dead spots. Where you just lose it.
Oh yeah, but
I do listen on the app at times if I'm at the gym, and I don't want to bother Teddy or Dusty when I see him, so I'll just listen on the app and see what's going on.
Well, and to me, Jeremy, I just think, as much as I am resistant to change, and as much as I want to go back to the days of people calling in on a phone, it's gone. Those days are done. This new era, they catch everything.
They got the text line.
Yeah,
that's
text
fine.
line, and yeah, so you can control, and that's what I like about what we do on a much smaller scale, is the fact that we can have people who want to contribute comment,
yes.
and now we may be back up on
the Facebooks.
Yes, we are. All right.
Would you look at that?
Look at me. So anyways, a lot of stuff still going on, Jeremy. We have to hurry if we do our picks, but I do want to mention a couple of things. Thunder lose their first one at Portland without Chet Holmgren, without Lou Dort, without Alex Caruso, and obviously without Jalen Williams, but still had a chance. AJ Mitchell, man, that guy,
he's a good player.
He's coming along.
Yeah, he's just another dynamite pick by Sam Presti, who is on a heater drafting.
Yeah, second rounder. And also, tell me, I think in this time, if you are going to go without Chet Holmgren, I think Jalen Williams, Will, I think he makes a lot of sense in a lot of situations, because I think he just kind of helps. He may not have the biggest stat line, but like that long pass he threw on the inbounds just before, and now Hartenstein might have gotten away with a push in the bag, but either way, it was a momentum turner for that second half a little bit.
He is the ultimate glue guy, and he just goes out there and works.
Yeah.
He is just hustle. They've also missed, speaking of hustle, Kenrich Williams, Kenny Hustle, has been out too. and he sucks up a lot of those minutes.
Yeah.
So they are. We've always said, season doesn't start till Christmas.
Yeah.
This team has been decimated
Well,
with
but
injuries early.
I think we're in a mode right now, Jeremy, where people want to crown champions today or next, at the end of the week.
We are in the land of hyperbole.
I mean,
the second you lose your first game in an 82-game season, you fall from the top of the ESPN FPI or BPI down to 6, from 1 to 6, because you lose the second night of a back-to-back on the road when the team you're playing just goes on a generational heater of 3-pointers in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
You don't win many of those games.
Drew Holiday has not shot like that in a long time. Yeah. And he may not again.
It's nothing to be concerned about because the team is not even at full strength.
Same thing with the Spurs. Spurs go into the Forum and lose. And I did that on purpose.
The Great Western Forum.
Inglewood. They roll into Inglewood.
Yeah.
But no, the Spurs go in and lose a tough one. They tried to give it to the Spurs, but but then the hyperbole, like you mentioned, the Luka syndrome, and they were without LeBron, they were without Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura. He would be everything that they tried to build him up to be if he could make a freaking layup.
Yeah, that's an important part of the game is making shots. Who was it the longtime Oklahoma City sports radio caller? I think it was Laker Hater.
Yeah.
He always referred to the Lakers as the Compton Aqueducts.
Yeah, that's right. We are back up on Facebook, so if you're joining us again, we appreciate you sticking it out and working with us. Jeremy, real quick, before we get to our picks, and we will zip through those real quick. This is November, I believe, is Mental Health Month. Mental Health Awareness Month, and sad news from Dallas, just on the heels of signing Quinnen Williams to a trade. Marshawn Nealon, who scored a touchdown off of a blocked punt Monday night against the Cardinals, took his own life. And we want you to know here at Law Dog Sports that we've both been through, we're old enough, we've both been through tough times. We know what things can get like, but reach out and get help. Don't suffer in silence. And that's one of the worst things you can do. And, and if you know somebody, offer, do what you can. And
nothing is ever bad enough.
24 years old, Jeremy. I mean,
take your own life. You got everything to live for. Just get help, man.
Exactly.
Just talk to somebody.
Yeah, and a lot of people care regardless of what you think. And this time of year, Jeremy, I always harken back to the note left in the card for George Bailey. No man is a failure who has friends. And that's probably going to be my Facebook cover photo starting today, since we are approaching the holidays. And then also, I got to say, I've railed on this guy before, but I think he needs prayer and he needs help. Antonio Brown gets arrested in, was it Dubai, and extradited or whatever back to the United States, and a shooting incident. That guy, I mean, and the optimum or the really quick response is always, the Vontaze Burfict effect, but that guy's got some serious CTE.
I think Vontaze Burfict should be arrested as well for, the enabler of the CTE.
Yeah.
He has never been the same since that hit. And 4 days after he, crowned Tate Sandell as his cracker of the week, he's arrested in Dubai and extradited back to the U.S. It's just crazy time.
Saying if you're crazy, that crazy, just, social media may not be where you need to be.
Yeah, you probably want to stay off the radar.
Did Kevin Durant go at him too?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that dude.
Okay. Hey, I'm up 26 points on Justin Bashong in our fantasy league. Luke Clement took me to the woodshed last week, Jeremy, and your guy Mahomes did no favors for me.
Well, I actually got a win last week.
Good for you.
I took the Goat Herd Fellowship behind the woodshed.
Yeah,
with my two tight end, with my 21 personnel, and got 37 points for Brock Bowers. Of course, they played in a wind tunnel last night, and he only got me 3 points. So week to week, we're we got win 2 finally.
Yeah. Well, I'm 6-3 on the season, and you are, I think, there with
2-7.
Oh, you're 2-7.
I'm 2-7.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting Jacoby Brissett.
Marty
That's
Wandry is 19th in our league at 2-7, and we want to thank him and Clinton Liquor for sponsoring the program. Clinton Liquor, 1018 South 10th Street in Clinton, America, just right off the interstate. You can be in and out of Clinton Liquor if you're kind of traveling through Western Oklahoma, or if you live out this way. Get in and see our friend Marty Wandry there at Clinton Liquor, and also buy your scratchers there. They had a guy last month win $100,000 on a scratcher bought out of Clinton Liquor Store. But we appreciate Marty Wandry, and I got to golf representing Clinton Liquor last Saturday at the Clinton Public Schools Foundation Scramble at Riverside in Clinton. It was a lot of fun, and
nice.
Kenny McGuire, our friend of the program, also carried the team. His shoulders were tired by the end of that day, buddy. He carried the team in a large way. So college football pick'em, Jeremy. Tonight, Houston Cougars, a 1.5 point favorite on the road against Scott Frost and the Knights of UCF. I've got Houston in this one.
I do too, but that'll be a game time decision whether I flip that one or not.
Yeah. Also tonight, the Memphis Tigers host the Tulane Green Wave. Tulane lost to UTSA last week in a bit of a blowout. They did kind of make a couple of scores, but it was a blowout. But this Memphis team has seemed to turn the corner since that loss to UAB. The American Conference is just it's who's going to get it, because this Memphis team, they beat USF, and then South Florida just put it all over UTSA last night.
Yeah.
I've got the Tigers.
I do have the Tigers as well.
A struggling Colorado Buffalo team rolls into Morgantown, 6.5 point dogs. They fired or demoted offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur. I like Rich Rod as he seems to have turned the corner with that Houston win last week.
Same. I'm surprised that's only a 6.5 point spread.
Yeah, a little bit, because Colorado's really hemorrhaging right now.
Yes, they are.
Indiana goes into Happy Valley. Kurt Cignetti and the Hoosiers, 14.5 point favorites. I've got Indiana, but I'm going for my pick. But I'm going to say I see Penn State giving a big middle finger to the college football playoff and the Big Ten.
Why?
Just because it's a big game.
Well, I mean, why would they give a finger to the
just
college football playoff?
By blowing up the Big Ten's.
As I say, they're the reason they're not in it. They're the ones that fell apart.
That's what I'm saying. Is just
got their coach fired.
Kind of a last act of defiance to beat the Hoosiers in Happy Valley.
You know how much I love Kurt Cignetti. I think he's 14.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to cover that.
All right. So let's see. Georgia rolls into Stark Vegas, 7.5 point favorites. I saw some people saying that they felt like the dogs could pull one out on this one.
And
the Mississippi State dogs.
I almost clicked on Mississippi State just because 7.5 points. I think it's going to be a rock fight.
Mm-hmm.
Levy seems to have his guys geared to play in big games, just not win them. I mean, that comes. You lose by a little, then you start winning.
Yeah. Georgia's in a tough spot because they need to play well in that, get out of that, and prep for Texas.
Yes, they do. It could be a trap.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
It's a trap game. BYU 10-point dogs. Ours has it at 10. I saw it at 10.5 yesterday when I was making notes for our Ryan Hyatt appearance. I like BYU to cover the 10. I think Tech wins it.
All right, I like Tech to cover that 10. That's two scores. I think that's about right.
Maryland at Rutgers, the State School of New Jersey, 1.5 point dogs at their home field. It's a Big Ten game I could care less about, but I think Maryland probably rolls in there. Has Maryland fired their coach?
No, they still have Mike Loxley.
Loxley?
Yeah.
He's on the hot seat, though, right?
Everyone's on the hot seat.
Okay.
I like Rutgers in that game. 1.5 at home. That spread's weird.
Okay. Syracuse rolls into Coral Gables, 28.5 point dogs. I just don't see the Canes are really good. Syracuse is bad, but 28.5 points is a latte.
I went with Syracuse based on it being a 4-touchdown spread. That's a lot of points, and
It is.
Miami's offensively outside of that little number 10, that little Tyreek Hill clone they've got out
Yeah,
there has
he's
been
good.
really bad.
A&M rolls into Columbia 7-point favorites. Is that what we had it earlier when I mentioned it?
Yeah.
I think it was 6.5 when I mentioned it earlier.
Let me see.
Got it at 7.
It's at 7.
Okay. So Mike Elko and the Aggies roll in. Who you got?
Is that how they do it?
Oh, the Gig 'em?
Gig 'em?
I
Yeah.
thought it was just kind of a
Whatever.
motion or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I
Southwest
don't know.
Conference had so many hand signals. Who could keep up with it? Because
I
you
know.
had Hook 'em,
Still trying to
Gig
figure
'em,
this one out.
you had Guns Up, and then I think TCU is crippling arthritis.
Yes. Rheumatoid arthritis.
So I think A&M wins, but I think Missouri covers.
I got A&M to cover that 7 points.
Okay. Oregon rolls into Iowa City 6-point favorites. Hawkeyes kind of revamped on offense as of late, Jeremy, but I still like the Ducks to cover the 6.
I've got Iowa right now, but I'll probably flip that. 6 points, man. That's a weird spread for the number 6 team in the country, even on the road.
Arizona Wildcats host the Kansas Jayhawks. Hawks are a 4.5-point dog. I'll go with Arizona on this one. I don't know what Lance Leipold's got left to keep this team.
I did not. Yeah. Man, I didn't see this coming for Kansas, but
No. I mean,
should have.
Daniels was my dark horse Heisman candidate.
Well, I got Arizona.
Yeah, I got the Cats. TCU host Iowa State. Cyclones 6.5-point dogs. TCU's decent, but it just shows the way Vegas has no faith in Matt Campbell.
Yeah, I think I picked the Frogs, and I'm also hoping for an epic Matt Campbell meltdown on the sideline.
It could happen.
See those teeth?
Would you be hearkening back to the 2020 Big 12 championship meltdown? Okay.
Yes.
Duke at Connecticut Blue Devils 6.5-point favorites. I like them. No, I'm sorry, 9.5-point favorites. Let me get the glasses back on. 9.5-point favorites against the Huskies. I like Duke to cover that.
Samesies.
The Hugh Freeze-less Auburn Tigers roll into Nashville to take on Diego Dampavia and the Vanderbilt Commodores. I'd normally, after a big game and a loss at Austin like that, I would think Auburn would come in. There's so many factors in this game, but I'll take Vanderbilt in the 6.5 points.
For some reason I've got Auburn here, that new head coach bump
and the new quarterback.
Don't be surprised to see Jackson Arnold by halftime.
Okay. You like Auburn in that one?
I like Auburn in that one.
All
to
right.
My detriment.
The Huskies of Washington traveled to Madison to take on the Badgers. Luke Fickell gets the dreaded vote of confidence from the administration that he is there for at least one more year. He was probably looking forward to a buyout and take a break for a little bit, but the Huskies come in 11.5-point favorites. I like Washington to cover that.
Same.
Mountain West action. Spartans of San Jose State 5.5-point favorites over the Air Force Falcons. I'll take the home team on that one.
Yeah, I don't have any idea about that game, so give me the home team with the points.
Clemson has basically hemorrhaged since really LSU game, but even that the Syracuse loss.
Yes, Syracuse
Pitt rolls into
Stanford.
Death Valley.
Oh, wait, that's Florida State.
Syracuse rolls into Death Valley, takes a win, but yet Vegas still likes Clemson to be 2.5-point favorites against the Seminoles.
I've got Florida State.
Oh, totally.
I've got Florida State this week. They looked a lot better against Wake last week. I know Wake Forest did great, but Clemson hasn't showed me anything.
No. And speaking of Wake Forest, they are 6.5-point dogs at Charlottesville, the Cavaliers of Virginia. I'll take them to cover that at home.
Give me all the Chandler Morris.
Yeah. Louisville, a 20.5-point favorite over the Cal Golden Bears in Louisville. I'll probably take Jeff Brom to cover that.
Yep. at his well, he's a Louisville alum, so he's probably not going to bail for a better job.
Yeah,
Give him a
I
little,
think surely he sees he's got a decent path and can
yeah.
do something there. Nevada at Utah State, Wolfpack 9.5-point dogs. Really a toss up in my mind, but I guess
Someone's got to win.
yeah,
Give me
I think
Utah
I went
State.
Wolfpack just in case the rest of our league goes Aggies. And
Yep.
you start having to make those moves. That's the bad thing.
Yeah.
Big game in Lexington as the Florida Gators roll in. Probably a little stinging from that cocktail party last week, but they're 3-point favorites against the Wildcats. Mark Stoops' defense not really living up to what we thought they would, but they've faced some tough competition.
And they'll play better this week. They're at home. Florida's coming off an emotional loss in a big rivalry game. It's a trap.
Yeah,
Kentucky.
Crap. All right, LSU at Tuscaloosa. They could do a lot to help OU next week by making the Crimson Tide have to play 4 full quarters. But I don't see it happening. I like Alabama in the 10.
Same.
What was the over-under on that one?
Let's click on it and see.
Let me see here.
49.5.
I'd get all over that.
Yeah.
I'd take the over on that in a heartbeat. Because I for some reason I think LSU will go in there and score, but 10 points isn't the
Will they though?
Well, I don't know.
LSU's offense has been dreadful this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I just
maybe the dearth of Brian Kelly.
That's what I was going to say.
Will lift off of them and they'll come out and look like the 2024 LSU Tigers.
Navy midshipmen roll into South Bend, 26.5-point dogs. I like them to cover that.
I got Notre Dame.
All right. UNLV at Colorado State. Dan Mullen has let me down so much this year, but I'm going to think he goes in on the Jay Norvellis. You like that word I use, Norvellis? Yeah. Rams of Colorado State. I like running Rebs, 4.5.
Same.
San Diego State, the class of the Mountain West, I believe. Boise State may have something to say about that, but they are 7-point favorites at Hawaii. I've got the Aztecs. I could change that by 10 p.m. tomorrow night.
Because, yeah, that's a late game. Got lots of time to think on that one.
And that could be a trap with the Rainbow Warriors.
Yep.
Who scores the most points this week? I've got Louisville.
San Diego State.
San Diego. All right, so that is our college football pick'em. We are up on about over an hour 15, and I know you've got a Friday to get to. But, we talked about a lot of stuff. We appreciate Ryan Hyatt from theraiderland.com checking in with us. Jeremy, no college football recap show tomorrow night. We'll take one more week off. I apologize for not getting one in last week. Plus that late game. And I knew you had to work the next day, so I didn't want to put that onus on us right then.
Oh, it's fine.
Well,
I was ready to go. I was all set up, ready to go.
I know it, and it was a huge win, and I opt out, so my apologies to you and to our fan. But anyways, parting thoughts. Anything else you got going on this week in sports? Your Kansas City Chiefs are off.
It's going to be a quiet weekend.
Oh. Yeah, as we mentioned, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid will be at College Game Day or in Lubbock. I'll just say this. We talked about the Marshawn Needle and tragedy. It'll be interesting to see how the Cowboys as a team respond to this because, NFL and pro sports, they are a fraternity.
Yeah.
They may have squabbles, they may have issues, but it's like it's one of my favorite things about professional sports and some college too. But like you see guys, they kill each other for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and then they're all chit-chatting and visiting and fellowshipping afterwards. To me, that's one of the good things about professional sports. So I would imagine there's a lot of hurt inside that Cowboys locker room, and I bet there's some hurt on other locker rooms too that knew the guy.
Yeah, it's just a shame, just I reading about it yesterday. I mean, I just saw this guy score a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
He's 24 years old.
24.
Has his whole life in front of him, and just what could have been so bad?
There was a girlfriend involved that called and you let him know. I don't know if there was trouble in the home, but it's rough, and nobody knows except the people involved. And,
Yeah.
you can't speculate, but I mean, man, if you're out there and you feel like your romantic life is worth that, take some time.
Yeah.
Some time to step back. There's no romance involved that is worth losing your life for. If you're defending your loved one, that's one thing, but taking your own life, so much life left to live at 24, and just truly tragic. But we will carry on prayers for him and his family and loved ones and those affected. But it is National Mental Health Awareness Month. So like I said, talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. That's one of the worst things. And be a friend, be somebody that somebody can talk to if you can. We all have problems, and sometimes helping others with theirs helps us forget about ours some. So I have a brother who's an addict, and I've always said he's at his best when he's helping people try to break their addiction.
Mm-hmm.
When he's not helping others, he falls, and it's sad. So anyways, all right, so let's get on out of here. And what a program it has been. We want to thank Ryan Hyatt from theraiderland.com and checking in, giving us a great Texas Tech preview. That's probably the game I will definitely pay close attention to tomorrow.
I will be probably watching that one as a standalone. I'm going to try to figure out the evil 4-letter multi-view in the morning. And
there is no multi.
I've got the ESPN app. I figure it out.
All right. I think I'll just move TVs into the living room like the old days.
Oh my gosh.
All right. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. Not too many airways going on. Far fewer airways going on that you have to rule over nowadays, but hopefully
just a couple. That's
another situation. I'll just say this. Life seems so discombobulated right now, Jeremy. I mean,
totally.
I know on the grand scale, this ESPN stuff is very minor, but it is affecting my day to day. So, and that's all I care about is me.
That's right.
Just kidding. All right. He's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. We want to thank CCW Safe and Clinton Liquor for sponsoring this episode. CCW Safe offers legal self-defense coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. Visit them at ccwsafe.com. The link there in the scroll and on the description of this program is where we would like you to go if you check them out. So be sure and do that, and thank you to them for sponsoring the program. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. No college football recap tomorrow night. We will take another Saturday off and then be back with you next Friday for the Weekend Big Show. Be safe.